actually beautiful to think about what's already working in the places that we start from, and then like Bruce Lee, like add what's our uniquely our own, rather than like this bulldozer culture where we fucking just start from scratch. So you were there in the middle of the apartheid when these indigenous communities were basically being bulldozed.
Absolutely. So the colonizers and their various European descents had come over at various times and kind of destroyed a lot of the indigenous belief systems, customs, rituals,
their values,
and their souls, and they broke their souls really through the process of capitalism and domination, exploitation. Yeah,
I think that's going to be a big theme for Impact is talking about how we can take sustainable approaches, how we can take long-term approaches, how we can think about how we're integrated with our environment rather than separate from our environment.
Exactly. And like the indigenous often do globally, have such a beautiful relationship with nature, and that's the point, to respect and have a symbiotic relationship, respectful.
It's collaborative and
right?
intimate too. Yeah, if you pay attention to it, because it's offering you this beauty, and then it's like it's right there for you if you want to take hold of it. Like as an example, like where are we right now? We're in one of the most beautiful venues in all of Lake Atitlan, and it wasn't because Greg, the visionary founder of Eagle's Nest, decided, all right, I'm going to bulldozer this place and just and set up shop. He was like, how can I co-create in the side of this forest, jungle, mountain, lake to create something beautiful that feels welcoming and at home, and that respects the local community, right? And the local environment that we're in. Like every person that I've seen working here are local Guatemalan folks. Every single one of them are always like laughing, enjoying their time, always super welcoming to me, which is a reflection of how they're being treated and how they feel working here. And so it's great to see that local feel is being captured.
Yeah, I see that in Greg too. I've only met him recently, but I mean, this is why I keep coming back to visit Eagle's Nest.
The yoga, the view, it's not just that.
And the energy here and the people, it just seem to be, just the beautiful energy about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It keeps attracting people. And Greg's sense of purpose with this. I was like, I'm coming on Sunday.
Amazing.
I'll be there to support you.
Amazing. Amazing. Can you share a little bit about what you talked about on stage?
So well, as I said, the inspiration to campaign and support marginalised communities came from that wounded space of South Africa. But I later went on to just travel and volunteer a lot, but just go and explore and just soak in all indigenous or different communities' ways of being in the world, and healing practices, spending time with shamans, spending time with plant medicine. I mean, in all their various aspects, right?
Love it.
Like all the healing medicines.
Be open-minded.
Yeah,
you
and
don't
just
know.
be open.
Yeah.
And listen and share and come from the grassroots up. Meaning, don't come with your sort of Western impositions to inflict. Like, I've got medicines and I know the best way or whatever. You know, is to honor that and to co-create and to share the space. And to learn and be humble.
True.
You know, when in ceremony with numerous people, elders, young children, and through that process I went on to do anthropology, masters, and I've written a few articles, but it's mainly around the preserving and protecting of indigenous people, because a lot of them are under threat. Their land's under threat, their medicine is under threat. Up north, for example, I stayed with the Huacholi people, the Warika people, where the sacred peyote is at threat. The mining companies are wanting to frack their land, and where they're going to go. And it means the very little sort of knowledge and wisdom they have. The Amazon, I mean, there's so many
doesn't work.
Communities.
It doesn't work.
Locally here
there's
too.
There's greed.
Yeah.
There's greed, there's selfishness. It doesn't work.
Exactly.
This dishonesty.
Yeah.
Right? And the dishonesty is like, well, are you lying? Like, maybe. Like, that's a different story. Like, are you actually, the words that come out of your like, the dishonesty to me seems like not recognizing that we're all the same.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's celebrating
the truth is we're all the same. And so if you kill them, if you stomp them down, if you destroy their culture, you're destroying your culture.
Or force them to conform to the way you, to basically to support the capitalistic system in some shape or form.
When you said that they're at risk, what I'm thinking of is like we're all at risk when that's happening. Like as an example, like the overfishing, whales, dolphins, sharks, like
deforestation,
destroying that habitat is the same thing from a thematic perspective as taking the land from indigenous people and destroying their culture and not allowing them to thrive. We're doing the exact same with our oceans and doing the exact same with our forests and doing the exact same with the people we meet on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Rather than loving and embracing them, which is what San Marcos is teaching.
Yes, exactly. Coming back to this community, exactly what's happening right here. And I mean, I haven't been here long enough to really. I want to go over to Santiago. Have you been?
Yeah, no, but I heard a story about it today.
Yeah.
Greg was sharing that he did the Camino de Santiago in Spain.
Yes.
Have you done it?
I have done a portion of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's make it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
And maybe with a purpose, like a little great intention all the way.
Go on a pilgrimage.
Yeah. Well, we can do that right here. We can set one around the.
Wow, that'd be super fun.
Around the lake.
That'd be super cool.
Hey?
That'd be great. An annual around the lake. Yeah, that'd be fun.
And what we do is we get a representative from each, because obviously there are numerous languages here.
Yeah.
Numerous clans.
Sutsuhil.
Yeah. And representatives from each, and we all pilgrimage together and give offerings to the lake.
Share lessons, share stories, share inspiration, share music, share dance, share food.
Watch the sunrise, watch the sunset, sing.
I don't know.
Rejoice.
Maybe it would take a full week to get around the lake. Who knows?
It'd be interesting.
Who knows?
I wonder if it's been done. Actually, I'm sure some, but with that purpose and intention.
That's a beautiful.
That'd be great.
That's what this podcast is about, by the way, everybody. We weren't coming in here with all the answers. We're coming in here with questions.
Flowing out anyway.
We're coming here with questions. It's like, what could we do locally that could make a big difference globally?
Yeah.
And what can we do is we could call people in.
Yeah.
And we can embrace them.
Yeah.
And we can ask them what works, and we can ask them what challenges they're experiencing. We can ask them how we can support them and how they can support us.
Exactly. And it doesn't always work with money's good for some, but it's obviously where that money's going and what it's doing, but it's up to the community if they want money and how they want to spend their money.
Yeah.
You know, in their sense. But there are other ways of giving and supporting, like campaigning against their land being taken away or their practices. You know, so yeah.
Even just being heard and seen. Even just being heard and seen. Like one of the reasons that I wanted to learn Spanish when I came here is because like I can't hear anybody out.
Yeah.
I'm just like walking by people and like pretending they don't exist because I can't communicate with them.
Very good point.
So if I'm gonna live here, then I might as well be able to say hello, ask them how they're doing.
Yeah, at least the basics. It's respect, isn't it?
Yeah, some of the nicest people that I've met in San Marcos have been Andre, the man who sells the coconuts. Just having a chat with him every morning over a coconut.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
And the elders as well. You know, they've got so much wisdom and they're so humble. So you almost need to sort of sit and chat and give them time to open and the patience to really, absorb what they're saying.
That's such a great point. That's a great point because they're not they're humbled, so they're not flashy. They're not they're not screaming from the hilltops. Like if you want that deeply rooted wisdom, then you need to be patient enough to call it out.
Yeah.
And create the environment and the space that's for that. Can you share with me anything that you've learned throughout your journey in studying indigenous communities? Something that you think would be. That's okay, no worries. We got water.
Yeah, I know. I've got a bit of a. What have I learned? You mean like globally, locally, or generally?
Well, what's a like a personal philosophy that you live your life based off of, or you think is a great way to live life?
But just have greater awareness and gratitude, I suppose, and the simple things and the connection with nature, as I said before, just and giving offerings, like every day, a little bit of tobacco or a little bit of food, or just that moment where you can reflect and take time just to, watch the sun come up, or laugh with friends. I don't know, have a dance. But healing practices for me has been, because they're so numerous and they're so wonderful within plants and herbs and communication and that's what the main thing that's I've learned is the healing practices from each community.
Okay.
And I'm a nurse too.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm trying to build a bridge between Western medicine and other medicines that are equally valuable and wonderful, and have their place in the world, and we should be learning from and taking in. And travel does that.
Totally.
Travel exposes you to that. if you're lucky enough to travel, not all of us can, right? So we feel very blessed.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is such a great answer. Let me ask you something about the offerings, just to be and we're gonna entertain Jonathan's personal curiosity here. As you mentioned healing,
yes,
it sounds like the offering and the gratitude is a healing in itself.
It is.
But I'm wondering, who are we offering to? What does
so,
that look like?
For each of us, it will be different, wouldn't it? So it's such a personal thing, and I suppose each community or tribe, they would have their own answers, but they're individuals within those tribes and communities. But to me, it's such a personal thing. And I think as long as it could be even within us, the god or goddesses within us, that we are.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, pleasure. And just taking a moment to have our health, to have each other, to have connection. Yeah, thank you.
San Marcos, baby!
Yay! Come visit!
Yes.
We'll sort that pilgrimage out.
That sounds like such a fun idea.
Yeah, I'll speak to Greg about it.
And it came up because of Santiago, and Greg did the Camino de Santiago 10 years ago, and Ian and I, who's my roommate, who you've seen on stage already.
I have.
I wonder how he's doing. He's doing all right?
Oh, he's got the little puppy.
Yeah, he's got the puppy. That's so perfect. He needs that grounding puppy all day.
It's funny.
Grounding puppy all day. That's awesome. That's the energy he needs right now. So I'm super happy to hear that. See?
Puppies are beautiful too, you know, they're so healing. Yeah. Cat therapy. I mean,
it's like asleep the whole time. It's just chilling. It's just chilling. It is a ball of love.
Yeah.
So Ian and I last summer did a road trip across Canada. We're from Toronto. Okay. And so we rented a car and we rented it for 30 days. It took us 5 days to get out west. Right. Where we went through Alberta and Saskatchewan, ended up in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, ended up in Alberta, hiked the Rockies with our buddy Mosin. Okay. And all throughout this trip, we ended up in BC with another friend, Patrick, and we met a bunch of friends there. It was like epic, and then came back. But throughout the trip, we listened to the audiobook, The Alchemist.
Oh, I love The Alchemist. I read it in my 20s.
We listened.
We love it.
Perfect time to read it. I read it in my 20s. Right?
Sure.
Like it opens your eyes to calling into your life what you want and realizing that you are the alchemist. Yeah. So anyway, we thought how cool would it be to do the Camino, but Greg's done it. Visionary founder of Eagle's Nest, has read The Alchemist, has done it. Kim has read The Alchemist. Like these are pay attention. These are the cues. And the village right across the lake, due directly south from the platform to Santiago. Exactly that. And I haven't been yet, right? So this is inspired, and I believe that's the most indigenously populated area around the lake. Wow. So I am yet to go there, and it's on my list. She's calling you over. Meet me there tomorrow. Yeah. One last thing. Mañana, no sé dónde va mañana estar para ti, para nosotros es mañana el 12 de julio. I don't know when it's going to be for them. I'm not sure when we're going to post it, but don't worry, you'll get the recording. We'll be in Santiago eventually, so join us in Lake Atapán. One last thing, if you don't mind. No worries. Talk to me about The Alchemist. How did that impact you?
Oh, wow.
Talk to me about how that impacted you, because Paulo Coelho is a hero for us.
And he did a few other books, I remember, that in sequel to that. But
Pilgrimage, Warrior of Light.
It's one of the staple diets of reading and traveling and opening up, and isn't it? And it's a short story, but it's such an impactful, powerful story. Yeah, well, the gifts are all within. He was externally, traveling and looking for gold and looking for all these treasures. And then I suppose the big message is looking and everything is within anyway, isn't it? So all the riches and empowerment and sense of purpose and beauty is all within. And that then can translate into serving others. So those are all the gifts. But sometimes we need to search a little. That's fine. It's part of the journey, isn't it?
You gotta get your flashlight out and start peeking around the corners of your personal reality and find out what works for you, what doesn't work, what you like, what you don't like.
And that can
no such thing as mistakes. It's all happening for you.
Yeah. And that can shift throughout time. What makes sense 1 decade or 1 minute.
Absolutely.
Another thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, as an example, having a child and being a father is a great idea, but doesn't make sense for Jonathan today. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not self-sufficient. I want to adventure and travel. I want to limit responsibility as much as possible. But one day it's going to be a great idea.
Sure.
One
But I
day.
suppose as long as you keep checking in alignment with your truth, and you meditate on that. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah.
What can go wrong?
Well, Michael is well known for saying, Michael who called you in to
Right, the
invited
leprechaun,
you, so,
you mean?
yeah, he's a leprechaun, amazing. Ian was saying he looks like Samwise Gamgee, Lord of the Rings.
Right,
Sam
yes.
looks like Sam from Lord of the Rings today, based off what he's wearing. And he talks about turning, he loves The Alchemist, he talks about turning doubt, fear,
Wow.
and overwhelm into gold. And
Hey,
the
that's very
video
good.
that I was making before you came was not as much gold and fire as this was. So he alchemized my solo video into an expertly recorded podcast.
I know. I didn't know I
So,
was going to be here today, but thank you.
Kim,
It's beautiful.
Thank you for doing this. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you for sharing your energy with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And we'll see you out there.
Yeah. I don't know when I'll make it, but I'll make it. Well, actually, 4 p.m. I'm gonna do a speech, so.
Oh, you
You'll
are?
still be here.
I'll be here. I'm going to be doing yoga at 3, but I'll be back.
Okay. Amazing.
Nice to meet
So,
you.
yeah, you too.
In
Thanks for
on
being
a
here.
deeper level.
Yeah, totally. I appreciate it. And we'll go to Santiago and we'll start
Yeah.
or get a trek planned.
That'd be good.
Okay.
And maybe
I'm
around the
down
lake.
to do that.
Take it easy.
Amazing. Amazing.
Mwah.
Peace,
Lots of
y'all.
love. Peace.